Hey guys, Mitch here. I might recall a couple of weeks ago said I was going to swap the speaker out in my little VOX Valvetronic amplifier here. This is one of those modeling amps, mostly digital, kind of a hybrid. It has one preamp tube in it for what they call a valve reactor. In any case, I basically use this amplifier for rehearsal and practice, maybe for some light gigs because it is a portable, small, easy to grab and go. And it's pretty loud too, so I can pretty much use it just about anywhere I usually play. The only problem I mostly have with it is it has a 10-inch speaker in it. It's a stock speaker. It's fairly shrill, has a lot of high end to it. It's sometimes just very annoying, hard to listen to, depending on the voice I'm using or the tone I'm using. I thought what I'd do is just swap the speaker out, because I know the amplifier is capable of really good sounds. When I plug it into my Egnator 2x12 cabinet, it sounds wonderful, so I know it could probably help just by having a better speaker on the inside. So I'm going to do here, the way you get to the speaker on this one, most amps, remove a few screws off the back and get the back panel off. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, I got all the screws off, and I'm just going to leave them around like this because that tells me where they go back. The panel, now in a stock Vox, this will just pop right off. I modified it last year, added an external speaker jack, so it's kind of stuck in here just a little bit. But getting it out ain't going to be too big a deal. See right here, the speaker terminals, or the lugs for the speaker. You can also see the stock speaker here. Pretty unspectacular looking. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect these two lugs and get the back panel out of the way. Much better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove 4 screws to get the speaker out. That's pretty standard. Now some speakers are attached with just screws going from the back through the rim of the speaker into the cabinet. This one has screws or bolts already mounted into the cabinet and has a nut on the back to actually hold the speaker in. So it's no big deal. I'll just use whatever whatever mounting system they use for the new speaker. So I'll just start by removing these little nuts. Okay, I removed the 4 nuts that held the stock speaker in. I'll try and tip it up here a little bit so you can see it. Now that it's loose, this thing just lifts right out. And here's a stock speaker. You can see it doesn't look like a bad speaker. Not very spectacular looking. Fairly big magnet. It's an 8 ohm speaker. Not sure what its power rating is, but the amp is capable of putting out about 60 watts. I never use that much. Be quite distorted at that point. But let's go take a look at the new speaker. Now what I got was the speaker from Warehouse Guitar Speakers. It's a Kentucky-based company, I believe. Heard a lot of good things about these guys, and they were very helpful. Told them the amp I had and what the problems were and what kind of sound I was trying to get out of it. So, talked to them on the phone. They also followed up with an email, and they suggested I went with this 10-inch speaker here that they had. This is their G10C S speaker, which the S stands for a smooth cone. You can see on this one here, you can see how the cone there has ripples on it, or little ridges in the actual cone. This one here is smooth, which they say will help eliminate some of the highs. It'll tame some of that shrill, and it should also increase the bass or bottom end. And now here's the guitar, or the speaker. You can see that smooth cone, and also a much bigger magnet. And this is a pretty spectacular looking speaker. I mean, this thing's just gorgeous just to look at. Now it's a 75-watt speaker, so it can handle pretty much anything this amp can throw at it. And it's also 8 ohms, since that's what the amp is rated at. And we're going to drop this in just the way the other one was in. It has several holes, so I'll just pick the 4 that will line up with the 4 that are in there, and we'll screw it back in. Okay guys, the new speaker is in. I just went ahead and placed the speaker, right side up, on the existing studs that were already in the amplifier. These are 4 bolts that are already mounted into the cabinet and has some little backing nuts. I just put those on with a nut driver. And as you can see, here's the model. If I screwed it up earlier, it's a G10C/S. The regular G10C is a ridged cone. The /S is a smooth cone. Like I said before, they tell me that should tame some of the high end, give it a little bit fatter bottom, which is just what the amp needs. Now it's physically mounted in, just got to electrically hook it up. And you can see the lugs over here. There's a red and a plain lug, usually for positive and negative. On a single speaker installation, it doesn't matter. Speakers are AC devices. They do not have a positive and negative. What's important with this is if you're using multiple speakers, like you're building a 2x10, 2x12, or a 4x, what you want to do is you want the cones to push and pull at the same time, not out of phase. So it's important you hook all the positive together and all the negatives together, and all that means are the coils are in phase, so they'll move in the same direction at the same time and not steal any tone from you. So just go ahead and you can see the red one here. Just push my red lug on, and the other one. Okay, speaker's basically in, hooked up, mounted. Now we just drop the panel back in, screw her on up, and I'll have a little sound demo for you with before and after.